Hello guys, I hope you're doing fine. Welcome back to another video here on Techniques. It's always a joy to have you guys tune in to Techniques. So as I promised you guys, more videos will be coming up, and as I told you on the last video, I'm requesting you guys to help me reach 1000 subscribers so that I'll be able to do even more, create more great content for you guys. Then another thing that I wanted to emphasize is that every video that you find here on Techniques is made on the basis of ethical hacking. We don't condone, we don't allow any misuse of our videos. So if you are here to learn ethical hacking or penetration testing, then you're in the right place. But please, if you do use these videos for illegal things, you are on your own. We won't accept any responsibility. So thank you once again for your support. Let's dig in today's video. Today we are going to take a look at a tool, a command line tool that I want you guys to get to know about. It's called Msfvenom. I don't know if many of you have heard about it, but if you do, well. But if you haven't heard of it, it's well and okay. We're going to go through it in the next 5 minutes or so. You already know what Msfvenom is and how to use it. So Msfvenom is just a combination of two different tools. One is msfpayload, the other one is msfencode. Okay, so these tools combined together created what we now know as Msfvenom. Okay, so Msfvenom is just a command line tool for creating payloads for different systems, for Android, for Windows. In my last video on Metasploit series, on the Metasploit series, I highlighted the different components of the Metasploit framework. What is payload, what is exploit. So these payloads, we can create them. We can create our own custom payload using the Msfvenom. So there are two ways actually to run Msfvenom. You can run it on its own. If I do Msfvenom, it's here. You can see it. You can see all the options here. So Msfvenom, a Metasploit standalone payload generator, also a replacement for msfpayload and msfencode. So we have the options here, -L to list the types. We have -P for the payload. Then list options here, -F for format, if it is AXE or APK. Then if you want to use an encoder, the architecture. Okay, so this is the first way you can actually interact with Msfvenom. The other way is to do sudo msf console, that is running Msfvenom inside of Metasploit Framework. So as I already told you before, Metasploit Framework is a great tool. It combines all these capabilities into one tool. Okay, so now inside the Metasploit Framework, if I do Msfvenom, you can still, it's just right there. Okay, so today let's take a look on how we can create these custom payloads to run against our targets. Okay, so let's look at the options here. So these are some of the options or you can use with Msfvenom. Some of them are just self-explanatory, like to list here the payload. -F is for format. Okay, so if let me just do Msfvenom -L payloads. Let's list the payloads. I know that there will be many of them, a lot. Okay, so the command Msfvenom -L for list, then payloads, We're just trying to list all the payloads that we can use inside the Msfvenom. So these are all, oh my, it's a lot. So all these are the different kind of payloads that you can use. They have different architectures, targeting different systems. For example, here this one targets Android. It's a Metasploit reverse HTTP. Then we have shell, we have Metasploit shells, we have the normal shells, we have bind shells. Okay, so all these are different types of, like this one, it targets 64-bit systems. This one targets 32-bit systems. We have a command Unix that targets Unix systems. We even have a Python payload, a Python Metasploit reverse TCP, netcat. So we have others that we even have one that targets Firefox. Others, we have Java here, Linux. So that's how you list all the. There are a lot. I cannot go through all of them. Then, if I were to list encoders, msfvenom-l encoders. So this will list all the encoders that we can use within the Msfvenom. Okay. So like I told you before, encoders are used to basically encode or try to obscure the payload so that it doesn't get caught up in these security mechanisms like firewall, like antiviruses. Okay, so these are the different types of encoders that you can use inside Msfvenom. Okay, so that's it. We have just listed the payloads, we have listed the encoders. So encoders, these are just they're used, like I told you, they're used to obscure or try to prevent the exploit from getting caught up by antiviruses. So they're very, very useful. Okay, let's another thing guys, still on the encoders, you can see the rank here. On the payloads we don't have rank, but on the encoders we do have a rank. So they're ranked according low, good, manual, great, or excellent. So if an encoder is ranked excellent, that means, or that shows you that encoder will work perfectly. Okay, and the one that I love to use is this one, the Shikata Jinai. It's ranked excellent. Okay, so Shikata, I don't know if it's pronounced Shikata Ganai or Shikata GNI. So it's a phrase from the Japanese. I think it translates to something like nothing can be done about it. Okay, so now that's the kind of encoder I would love to use. Then another thing, in Msfvenom terminology, a platform is loosely an operating system or scripting language. Okay, so if I do Msfvenom-l platform, this is just platforms. So this lists all the platforms that we can target, or those payloads can target. Okay, so we can target Android, Apple, iOS. We have Java, JavaScript, Linux, Mikrotik. These are types of routers. Then we have multi means that it can target more than one system. Then we have Solaris, Unix, Windows, PHP. So all these are platforms. Okay, like I said before, a platform is just an operating system or scripting language with a few exemptions, such as netware. So when building our custom payload, we must build it specifically for the target operating system. So if you are creating a payload with Msfvenom, you have to specifically you have to specifically name or tell Msfvenom the operating system or the platform that you're intending to deploy that payload against. So if it's Windows, it will be something like, the format will be .exe. If it's Android, it will be .apk. If it's something like PHP, it will be .php. Okay, so these are the platforms that we can target with Msfvenom. So note that nearly every operating system is represented here, from IX to Android to Linux to OS X to Windows, and nearly everything else in between. Okay, so when building our custom payload, we must select the proper target platform for that payload to be successfully executed. Okay, let's finish up so that we can try to create our own payload. So now let's take a look at the formats that our payload can take. So we can list them by typing msfvenom -l formats. Is it? Yep. So let's try to list all the formats that our payloads can take. Okay, and by format we mean things like .exe, .what. So is it? So it starts here. So we have .asp, .aspx, aspxx, x, yep, x only, x service, x small. So all these target Windows. These are, so .exe is the standard executable format for Windows. So VBS, Visual Basic, MSI, OS X. Okay, so OS X app. So these are the different formats: base 32, base 64, bash, C, C#, DWD, Word hex. Okay, so all these are the different formats that our payloads can take for it to be successful. Okay, so as you can see, these are executable formats. If we scroll down a bit, we can see the transform formats to here. These are the transfer formats. So when we build our custom payload, we use the -f switch to designate the format. It could be -f, then X, and something like that. Okay, so let's go. So that was a brief introduction to the Msfvenom. Now what I would like us to do is to create a custom Windows executable right now. So although we can create a payload without a custom template, we have a better chance of getting past security devices and antiviruses if we use a custom template. Okay, so you can use the standard payloads that come with the Metasploit Framework. You can use them. There will be some degree of success or some degree of failure, but I think from my experience with working with payloads, I think you get a better chance if you use a custom payload and then encode it. Okay, so we'll use we'll try to create a Windows executable. Then just show you the format, how you can create it. So the command will be, so let me just clear it. So msfvenom, then followed by -p. So you remember -p, that was for payload. So the payload, let's just create Windows Metapreter. So Windows Metapreter reverse TCP. Okay, then we need to put the L host, just like on using Metasploit Framework, where you need to put the L host, the R port. We need to do the same here, but this is the command line. Okay, so we'll do L host. L host will be my IP. Let me just open a new tab. If I do ifconfig, This is my IP 192.168.1.30. So my localhost will be 192.168.1.30. Yep. Okay. Let me just close that one. Then we're going to do lport. So remember, lhost will always be your local IP, not the remote port, not the remote host. Sorry. Remember, it's not the remote host. The remote host is the IP address of your target machine, the device or the system that you are trying to hack. Lhost is always your local IP address. Then the next thing we need to do is do lport. Here you can put any port number that you want to use, as long as it's not already in use or it doesn't cause any conflicts or interferences. So the famous one is always 444. Then space. Now, remember, lport you can put any port, just like I said. Okay. So we do 444 because Metasploit Framework tends to use that port number as default. So that's why we always leave it as it is. Then I can do now if I wanted to encode it, let me just Control Shift T. So if I do Msfvenom again, so -e if I wanted to use an encoder. Okay, so if I can do -e, then let me just go back again. Let me list the encoders. -l encoders. I want to use the Shikata Genai. Come on. Okay, it's here. I just copy it. Then okay. So now the last one is -f for format. The format will be exe, then followed by the arrow, then we give it a name. So it will be hack.exe. Okay, so now that's a full command to create this hack.exe. So we are using Msfvenom. -b is for payload. We want to indicate the payload that we want to use. We want to use this one, Windows Metasploit Reverse TCP. Our local host will be this one, 192.168.1.30. We are going to use this port. Then we are indicating that we want to use an encoder, and that the encoder is this one, Shikata Genai. Then the format of our payload will be exe, meaning we want to target a Windows system. Then the name of the payload will be hack.exe. Okay, and it's as simple as that. Now let's create it. If you hit enter, Msfvenom will try to create that payload for you, encode it with the encoder that we have specified here, Shikata Genai, and then okay, no platform selected, choose MSF. Found one compatible encoders, attempting to encode the payload in one iteration of Shikata Genai, succeeded. So the final size of the text file is 73,000 bytes. That is like 700 kilobytes, or okay. So if I come to my, let me go to my home folder, it's here. The hack.exe file is here. So it is this file that we, through social engineering or whatever means of delivery that you may want to use, you will take that payload, send it to the target system so that you get a reverse shell, or if it gets executed on the target system, you get a reverse shell, hopefully. So that's how you go about creating a Windows executable payload to use against a Windows target system. Now let's try to create an Android one. Okay, so let's try to create an Android payload. So I can do msfvenom -p for payload. So right now we are going to create an Android payload. So it will be Android Metasploit reverse TCP. Okay, so our L host will be 192.168.130. Remember my IP address, my local IP. Then we're going to input the L port. Can use 44 like before. Then I'm not going to encode it. It's not a must for me to use encoders, but if you want to create a certain degree of success, then you may want to use these encoders. But I'm just showing a basic way of creating a quick payload using msfvenom. So I can do -f apk. Then the file will be hack.apk. I hope you are getting it. You're getting it now. So we are using msfvenom. We want to specify a payload here, and the payload will be Android Metasploit reverse TCP. Then the host will be my local IP address, followed by the L port -f. Then the format will be the format will be apk, and the name of that apk file will be hack.apk. So if I hit enter, msfvenom will create a payload executable for me in the Android format, or a payload that targets invalid format. Sorry. So I did so we're just going to do a raw. Let's see it. Let's do raw. No, sorry. I think it didn't work because we need to input a raw format. We need to input a raw format for Android. Okay, so L port no, let me just look at the. So let's go to do msfvenom -h. Okay, where is it? Output. Okay, so we can just do -o hack.apk. Let me see if it will work. Hopefully it will create that apk file. Hopefully, yeah. So it has created that nini. Sorry, sometimes I tend to use Swahili a bit. You'll bear with me. So we have successfully created that apk file, apk payload. So no platform was selected, no encoder specified, outputting raw payload. So we didn't specify a format. You saw that it didn't work. So if by any chance you are creating an Android payload, you put an F, it doesn't work, just put -0 to specify that you want to put or you want to create a raw payload. Okay, and the raw payload will be hack.apk, but you have to specify a format. So it has been saved as hack.apk. So if I come to my file manager, where is it? Hack.apk. It's here. Hack.apk is here. So now I can send this file to my victim or my target, and if they click or install it, I will get a reverse shell. So in my later videos, please do subscribe so that you don't miss out on these videos. We'll create a video on how to create a payload with the Msfvenom and try to exploit an Android device. So that will be our next video. So subscribe, like and share my videos, guys. Help me reach 1000 subscribers so that we can create these great videos. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you have learned something about Msfvenom, how we can create a simple payload using Msfvenom. Now you understand the different formats, different encoders that you can use based on their rank. If it's excellent, that means it will work perfectly fine and all that. So guys, thank you once again, and please just a reminder again, subscribe to my channel. You'll be helping me a lot. Okay, thank you, and I hope to see you in the next video. Cheers.